Hey guys, we're back. So, in this video I'm going to be showing you all the stuff that I got at the JJ&CL model train shop. Nice guy who runs the place, John. He sells mostly new stuff, but he does have a used section of stuff that I think he's just accumulated over the years and stuff. And I've gone over there a few times, and he always has some good stuff. I bought most of the rest of his stuff. It hasn't been really restocked for a while, the used section, but he had some new stuff. But I bought a lot, or my brother and I bought a lot of this stuff, so I've got all of it here, and I'm going to show you everything that we got. So starting off first, this here, it's a lifelike Santa Fe, probably GP38, number 3500, and I've already got two more of these. Got one other dummy one, and this is also a dummy one. And I've got a powered one, which is number 3600, so I can have a triple header unit of these engines, which is really nice. It's just a dummy though, so no motor in that one. This one here, it's a Tyco Virginian. I don't know what model of engine that is actually, but it's in really good shape actually. No handrails though, but everything else is in really good shape. And it runs good. Next up, this is I think it's a Cox. It looks like a lifelike base, if it'll focus on it. It just says made in Hong Kong though, and it's got a different style motor than the lifelike engines did. And that one's it runs pretty good. Next, if I can get it, this is very unusual. It's a Pemco 260 Mogul. I'll just put it here. Very unusual. Motors in the tender, just like the old Tyco Chattanooga engines. There, it focused. Free rolling front wheels. It's got a smoke unit and a light. It's in actually pretty good shape, except for up here the boiler is cracked, but everything else is in good shape. And it also runs really good. One thing that was interesting about all these trains that we got this time was none of them really needed any work to run good. All of them just needed a little bit of oil, and they all ran actually fairly well before I even did anything to them, because who knows how long they had been sitting for before we got them. Because some of these engines I remember from about a year in advance, such as these next two. So the next one here, I'll pull it out. This is a Lionel 462, or it was a 462, but somebody has customized this thing quite a bit. They've put I think it's an AHM tender on it. It's not the original tender, and the wheels that were on the tender were not very good, so I had to replace them because one side of the engine's power is picked up through the tender, and I had to do some modifying to actually get it to work. And for the back pony truck, somebody had put a Mantua pony truck. I'll get it. And it didn't really work. It would make the wheels just spin because it sits up too high, and would cause the locomotive to just drag really badly. So there it is. I've got an extra one, but I've got 4 other of the Mantua engines that have these, so unless I find another one that needs it, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'll have to look it up. I can't remember what the actual pony truck for this engine looked like. But this one runs fairly well. It's pretty loud, but this one definitely needed the most work out of all of the ones that I got. But all these engines were fairly cheap. He pretty much just looked at everything and said, you can have it for 75 bucks, all the stuff that I got. And that's how much I paid for it. And my brother got some engines too. Like, this is the only engine that he got. This is a Mantua 262, Pennsylvania. I've got one of these that's an 060. This one's a little bit more fancy. It's got the pony trucks and ISO tender and the extra drive rods. This one runs alright. I don't really like the way that these specific Mantua 060 engines pick up their power through the tender. It never seems very reliable, because the other one that I've got, it never really has run correctly because of that. And then one of the most interesting things, I think, is this. This is I don't know what brand this would have been. I still need to look it up, but it's a wood kit of a Rock Island, probably like an E6 or 7 or something. one of the ones with the slanted nose, but it's very unusual. It would have been an HO kit. It's got that really old style coupler on the back that mostly only the older engines have. So this one's going to be a project for the future. I'll probably make a video or something just working on it, because there's really nothing here other than the coupler and the shell. I'll have to find a front truck for it, and a motor and everything, some wheels, but it's in, well, it's not too bad. It's not perfect, but it's actually pretty good. And that'll definitely be an interesting engine to get running and work on. Now, I think all the other things are just freight cars, and other things, just random bits. Like here, he had a box of parts. There's boxcar doors and wheels, and a lot of these parts that were in here I used to fix up a lot of the other freight cars that I got. So I'll show you some of the ones. So these are two identical Norfolk and Western. They're Marks freight cars. They're both identical, which is kind of nice to have two of them. And they're both in really good shape. They've both got all the wheels and couplers and everything. So those are nice. And then this one, this is I don't know what this is. It's a tender for some engine. It might be a Varney or like an old roundhouse kit, but it's a Frisco tender, really short tender, and it's got a light in it, which that's what the wire goes to there, if you can see it. Focus isn't very well, or it's not focusing very well, but it's really neat. And then there's a Rocco Rio Grande gondola. That's really neat. Then there's an AHM mobile box, or not a box car, it's a tank car. This one was missing a truck, so I stole one of the ones out of that parts bucket that I got. This is a Model Power 32-foot caboose. Really interesting. Came with the box and everything, so that one's really nice. This is an old, it's a Revell Great Northern boxcar, dated 1956 on the bottom, so that's pretty cool. Haven't got any of the Revell ones. This is an Ajax Lifelike boxcar. Not too special except for it's an Ajax one, which is really cool. And then this is very interesting. It's a Central of Georgia coal car. It's a Varney. Pretty old, nice and heavy. 1960 on the bottom is what it says. So that's really neat. Then this one is also really interesting. This is a Hotco Pennsylvania boxcar. I think I've got one of the freight cars that's a Hotco, but you don't see them too often. This was missing all of the wheels when I got it. As you can see, it says Hotco right there. It's just like a Tyco or a Lifelike, but pretty unusual. Haven't seen one before, or I guess I have, but it's really neat. Then my brother, he got two of these, I think they're Lifelike Union Pacific gondolas, so those are neat. And then this is an Atlas. My brother got this one as well. This is an Atlas refrigerator reefer car for, I don't even know, I haven't even really looked at this one, but it's a CMRX, so that's kind of neat. And then he got this is a TTX boxcar, really big boxcar. This is also, or this is a Walthers one, I think, is what the box, I don't remember what the makes of these are. And then he got this one as well. This is a PV covered hopper. I think it's an Atlas. There's two Atlas ones and two Walthers ones, so I think that's the Atlas. And then he got this one. This is a really cool, it's a GLNX. I don't know what that stands for, or CN, maybe it's a Canadian National, but it's a Walthers, and these are really nice and detailed. I don't usually get very many of the super detailed freight cars, but my brother, he gets more of those. So that's about it for these. I guess he did get some more details for the layout, like these are park benches, I think, and then there's the billboard that he's been building, and the road bed kits. But a lot of these engines are really neat, especially like the old Lionel one and the Pemco 260 Mogul. That's probably my favorite. I know Kokosing Valley Model Railroad, he's got a lot of the more unusual, like Lionel and Mark's HO stuff, so check him out if you haven't. And then my brother, check him out. It's JDR Productions 2. So that's his channel if you want to see any of the other train stuff that I don't upload. But there will be more videos on the way. I'm working on another engine that will probably be in the next video, and I'll work on some restorations. These really didn't need anything, so they wouldn't make good videos. But in the next video, probably I'll either do the custom engine that I'm working on or a part 2 for this, running all these engines. So I think that's about it, and I'll see you next